Hello and welcome to YJ Yoga class. I'm trying to keep you busy during this COVID period where we are all at home and maybe you're looking for something to do, whatever it is, just play along. If you can do poses, for those of you who are beginners out there, if you can do part of the pose is good enough. So don't worry about whether you get the pose right or you get the pose wrong, because that is the biggest worry for beginners. Like, oh my god, am I doing this right? Just don't go there. Just instead of going there, feel for what part of your body is stretching open, what part of the body is having muscles engagement to hold you in the pose. So feel for the pose instead of trying to think about how the pose looks like. For example, you see something in Instagram like how a warrior one should look like, and we can go into warrior one topic about the foot placement, the correct foot placement, and 20 teachers will tell you different things. So just don't go there. Alright, for this class, we will continue our journey of that band in a little, and we'll go into splits as well. You'll need a block and you will need a strap. So get those two ready before we start the class. In today's class, we'll do it differently. I'm not going to teach you in a very Forrest Yoga way. It might be called Forrest Yoga inspired, or it's just YJ style. And those of you who has been practicing with me in the gym, you know what YJ styles feels like. Alright. Just come into a comfortable seated position, sit up tall. Open up the spine for the energy to move through the spine. Now close your eyes and go inside. How are you feeling today? Check out what your current mood is in the body. Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling depressed? Whatever it is, acknowledge that feeling. Now your intent today is to work with identifying the kind of feelings that are arising inside you as you move through yoga poses, and hopefully after the class you can continue to do that, because if you are aware of how you are feeling, then you can do things like acceptance, practice things like how am I going to change this energy within the body itself. So that is what you're going to work with your intent for today. Alright. We'll start off with neck rotation. From here, tip the chin down towards the chest, stretching out the back of your neck. Then start to roll the head over towards the right hand side, stretching out the left side of your neck. And chin up over to the left. Then head go back towards the center. Reverse the direction over to the left. Chin up over to the right, and chin back down. Level the chin with the ground and come into 3 rounds of shoulder shrugs. Take a deep inhale, lift the shoulders up, and exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together and drag it down the back. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, squeeze it back, drag it down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, squeeze it back, drag it down, and gently come back and release. Come into Baddha Konasana, forward fold, soles of the feet together. Now if you have shoulder tightness like me, use a strap. If not, you interlace the fingers behind you. From here, take a deep inhale, lengthen up the spine, and exhale, come down. Lifting your arms off the back. Stretching out your shoulder here in Baddha Konasana, forward fold. Take a deep inhale into your shoulder. And exhale, moving your arms away from your lower back. Working with your breath here. As you exhale, move a little bit deeper. This is because the muscles move easier on exhale. And release and come on up. Straighten up your left leg and fold the right foot back into a half hero. Open up your knees as far apart as you can. Just coming into your side bend here. Reaching arms overhead. So for those of us who are a little bit tight in the body, arms just overhead. And for those of you who are a little bit more flexible in your body, you can grab hold of the foot. Slide left shoulder onto the left inner knee. And then hold on to your foot with both your hands. Take a deep inhale into the back of your thighs and your side ribs. Start to feel for the space that you are creating in between the joints of in between your ribs or the back of the thighs. Then on exhale, revolve open the chest. Continue to revolve on each exhale a little bit more. Then come up, roll your chest down towards your thigh into a forward fold. Now for those of you who have been following me, over here you can try to do an Uddiyana Bandha by pulling belly into spine to come down a little bit more. For those of us who are actually rounding your back like that, I would rather you to sit up tall. Lift the belly away from the pelvis before you tip forward. Maybe today you are just here. Maybe you can go a little bit more, but on each exhale, continue to work a little bit more. And I forgot to mention, for those of you who find this posture very difficult, draw the heel towards the butt. That's my bad. But well, you have stayed in the pose long enough, haven't you? Alright, we're in forward fold. Just take one more deep breath here down to the back of your thighs and your lower back. And gently release, come on out. Come into a half hero, no matter if we're just coming into a half hero. So come into a half hero. I forgot what I want to say, by the way. So come into a half hero. If this hurts your knee or the ankle, you can put a towel or some padding underneath to lift up a little bit. I don't know if Terence is watching this, but Terence have a very stiff ankle here. So Terence is my student at Fitness First, and he's really flexible except for the ankle. So if your ankle is like Terence and you couldn't do a half hero because it hurts you really, really deeply, put blanket underneath you to lift yourself off the ground a little so that the ankle doesn't need to be extended like that. So for the rest of us who are a little bit more flexible, now you can stay up. If you are flexible enough, just come down to your elbows. If you can go all the way down into your reclining half hero, just come here. Breathe into the hip, then exhale to feel for sending your knee towards the front. There's a very deep piece of muscle inside here that you need to let go, and that is your psoas. And from here, gently release the back foot, untuck the back foot. Those of us who are sitting up, lay down and come into bridge pose. Come up into bridge. Now line up your right foot in line with your right butt cheek. Then inhale, pick left foot straight up skywards. Press the ground away from you with your hands. Keep your neck relaxed here. Continue to press and project out through the foot as you come up. One more deep breath here. And gently release and roll yourself back down. Roll over to the left. Roll yourself up. And come into dolphin. I know a lot of people hate dolphin, but let's come into dolphin. And we come into the Forrest Yoga pose, dorsal fin. Lift your right leg up skywards. Then exhale, bend your knees, come onto your left fingertips towards the middle of the mat. And from here, you can try reaching the back foot, grab hold of the back ankle, and open the knees out skywards. On exhale, continue to lift knees up skywards. And gently release. Come on down onto your knees. Take a seat. Come back into Baddha Center forward fold. Soles of the feet together. Grab hold of your strap. If you don't need a strap, interlace the fingers behind your lower back. And from here, take a deep inhale, lengthen up. Exhale to come down. And deep inhale into your shoulder. Then exhale, lift arms off your lower back. Release and come on up. Come into your seated side bend, into forward fold. So straighten up your right leg this time round. Straighten up right leg. Left heel towards the ground for those of us who are less flexible. For those of us who are more flexible, come into a half hero. Open up your knees as far apart as you can. And exhale, slide right shoulder on the inside. For those of us less flexible, stay here. More flexible people, you know where to go. Grab onto the foot and spin the chest up on each exhale. Remember, the muscles move easier on exhale, so work with the breath and move with the exhale. Release and come into your forward fold. Grab hold of your shin, your calf, your foot, thighs, or whatever you can get on your legs. A deep inhale here to lengthen the spine, scooping belly away from the hip. Exhale, bow forward. Come forward. And release, come back up. Come back into your half hero, reclining half hero on the left side. So left foot tuck under. For those of my friend out there who is a little bit less flexible, you can maybe use a block. Sit onto the block. Work with this pose from this angle. Just stay here and later go into a bridge. For those of us who are more flexible in the practice, come down onto your elbows, or you come all the way down. So my left side is a little bit tighter. My knee tends to come off the ground. So as much as you can, lengthen your thigh bone away from the hip. Gently roll over to your right. Just untuck the foot from underneath. Come into bridge pose here. Once you come out into bridge, line up. Inhale, line up your left foot in line with the left butt. And exhale, lift right foot out skywards. Projecting out through the foot. Lift in the chest. And press with your hands down into the ground. And exhale, lower the foot down. And come all the way down. Roll over to your right this time round. And come back into dolphin. This time round, anchor down through your right foot. Pick left leg up. Bend your knees like you're kicking yourself in the butt. And come out onto your right hand fingertips. Maybe this is what you get today, you just stay here. Maybe this is what you get, you just stay here. And the rest of us, grab hold of the foot with right hand and continue to project the foot out skywards. On each exhale, continue to move knees out skywards. And then exhale, lower the foot down, come on down, take a sit. We'll come into L sit from here. So straighten up your legs to the front of the room, hands by the side of your head. Or take a deep inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, push hands into the ground, leave the butt off the ground. Now maybe you stay here, maybe one foot off. For those of you who are going into both foot off the ground, just do it. Stay for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then come back down. Reset your hands by your head. Take a deep inhale, lift the spine up. Exhale, press ground away from you, leave the butt for another 5 deep breaths. Take a sit. Reset your hands, third round. Press ground away from you and lift butt off the ground, lift the other foot out. Stay for another 5 deep breaths here. Do your own count. Come on down. One last. Hands by the side of your hip. Reset your hands. Take an inhale. Lengthen up the spine. Exhale. Press butt away from ground. Lift maybe both foot off the ground. Stay for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And take a seat. Step back into down dog. Stretching out your hamstrings here by bending one knee, straightening one knee. From the inhale, take left foot up towards the sky. Exhale, knee in towards your chest. And step the foot lightly in between hands. Come into warrior 2. Arms up. From warrior 2 going into reverse warrior. Lift front arm overhead. Projecting out through the fingers and feeling for the stretch at the side of your body. All the way down to the hip crease. Rebend the front knee and slide front thigh forward. Then release and come into your interlock warrior. Slide your ribcage on top of the thigh and links the finger behind you. Then inhale, lengthen up the spine here. Exhale, roll open the chest. And from here, straighten up the front knee into bounded triangle. This is pretty much like your bird of paradise with both your foot down onto the ground. From here, inhale to scoop open the chest more, and exhale to roll open the chest towards the side, even more. So as you exhale, roll right shoulder up and back some more. And gently release the bind, coming into a half moon pose. Left hand goes in front of your left foot and move it towards the left. So left hand is diagonal to left foot. And from that arm, lift the back leg up, lift your right arm up. And for those of you who can go a little bit more, come into a quarter moon by bending the back knee, grab a hold of the back foot with your right hand. And from here, take deep inhale, lift the knees towards the back wall, open up the hip, heel to butt. Exhale, once you stabilize yourself, roll open the chest. Still grabbing onto the back foot. For those of you in half moon, come into standing split. So standing split, people, it looks like that. If you're grabbing onto the back foot, come into standing split variation, heel to butt, bow the body over the thigh and send your knees up skywards as much as you can. And exhale, release the back foot, step back foot down onto the ground. Come into your pyramid pose. Back foot is like a warrior one stance. Turn out slightly around 60 degrees to the front of the room. Then put your hands either on the ground, on your shin, or on your thighs. And coming into a twisting triangle, put right hand down on the ground, lift left arm up. For those of you who are a little bit more advanced, right hand goes outside of the left pinky toe side. And for those of us who are really struggling in this pose, block underneath your shoulder, put right hand onto block. Release twisting triangle, pick the back heel up and come into a high lunge. Now moving from high lunge into a twist, hands towards your heart center in prayer, hook right elbow outside left thigh. Deep inhale, push elbow into thigh, lift the ribs up. Then exhale to revolve open the chest, lifting left shoulder up and back. Stay strong in your legs here. Breathe in into the legs. Activate and push energy out through your legs into the ground. Release the twist and come into a high lunge back bend. Lift your arms up, interlace your fingers and release the index. Point out towards the sky. And from here, take a deep inhale, lift ribs up and away from the pelvis. Exhale to lean back. Continue lifting ribs away from the pelvis. We got 5 deep breaths here. So as you exhale, move a little bit into the back bend. Don't go where you just from here, lower the back knee down onto the ground into a low lunge. And from low lunge, continue to lift chest up and away from the pelvis. Exhale to lean back even more. Or just go where your body allows you to go today. Release and come back up. You will need the strap here. Fold the right side of your mat and pat your right leg, right knee. Take the strap and start to loop it around the back foot, coming into your lunge back bend with the strap. So once you are ready, elbows up. If you are a little bit less flexible or less steady in the pose, hold on to a wall, put a block underneath your hand, left hand, and hold on to the block. For those of us who are a little bit stronger, grab the strap with both your hands. Huge inhale, lift, ribcage, armpit, arms, hands out towards the sky. Not so much of leaning back, but lifting up. So eventually you'll find space and continue to walk hands down the strap. Then very gently release and come into a half split. And from your half splits, if you can move into a full split. So if you are like me, who is a little bit tight in the body, just come into an almost full split. And if your almost full split is tall enough, your hip is off the ground tall enough for a length of a block, you put a block underneath your sit bone. But if you are working deeper into the pose, of course you can remove the block. You're still staying in your splits. So I fold the mat because my back knee is starting to feel the pressure and I love to pat my knees. So put the block. Those of us who are very high up from the ground, you can use as many blocks as you like, but we don't have the luxury of so many blocks at home, so you can use books, for example. So put the block underneath your sit bone. Then you're able to come up. So once you're able to come up, the strap, loop the strap around your back ankle. So once you got that looping strap around back ankle, leave the back foot off and send elbows up into a split back bend. For the rest of us who are comfortable doing this on the ground, please do it onto the ground. Alright. My block is a little bit flimsy and it falls off. Alright. Wherever you are, let go and come on out. Step back to downward dog. Just take a break here and feel for what's going on with your legs. The difference that is inside your legs right now. Let's go over to the right side. Inhale, right foot up. Exhale, bend the knees and pull knee into chest, shoulder over the wrist. Step the foot lightly in between the hands and come out into warrior two. I'm going to do it this side so you can see. Alright, come into warrior two. From warrior two, come into a reverse warrior, lifting front arm overhead. Now for those of us with the back hand onto the back leg, if your hands is pressing into the knee, stop that. Put the hands above or below the knee. Projecting out through your fingertips as you exhale. Feel for the stretch at the side of your armpit all the way down to the hip crease. Release and come back into warrior two. Come into your interlock warrior from here. Slide right. Rib cage on top of thigh. And link fingers behind you. Open up your chest. Inhale, lengthen up the spine more. Then exhale to revolve open. Lifting left shoulder up and back on each exhale. Coming into bounded triangle, straighten up the front knee. Hands still binded. If you cannot bind your arms, come into regular triangle pose. Don't kill yourself there. Continue rolling open your chest here. Release and come into half moon pose. Right hand in front of right foot, move it a little towards the right. Left arm up, left leg up. If it helps you to if you cannot do this, put both your hands down and leave the back leg up. For those of us who are a little bit stronger in your practice, bend the back knee and grab hold of the back foot. If not, you stay with half moon. Inhale to open the knees up towards the back. Open up the hip. Exhale, roll open your chest. Come into either standing splits or standing splits variation, hand grab back ankle. Exhale, bow your body over the front thigh. Then inhale, send back knee up skywards. And gently release, stepping back foot down into pyramid pose. Let me turn towards this side again. Come into pyramid. Legs in warrior one stance. So hands either onto the ground, shin, or your thighs. Learning how to make the pose easier and accessible for yourself is one way of working. And coming into your twisting triangle from here. Left hand on ground, reach right arm up. And gently release. Come into a high lunge. And from high lunge, going into your twisting lunge, hands to heart center. Left elbow outside right thigh. Press arms into legs to help you lift the ribs up and revolve open your chest. Then gently release, coming into lunge back bend. Interlace your fingers and release your index. And inhale, lift ribs, arms out skywards. Exhale, lean back. On each exhalation, just move a tiny bit more. And lower the back knee down and continue your journey into the back bend. Inhale, lift the ribs up and away from pelvis. Exhale, lean back. Then very gently release. Grab the strap. Loop the strap around the back foot. And moving into lunge back bend with strap. Beginners, hands down onto the ground, hands on thigh. More advanced people, grabbing the strap. Inhale, lift, ribs, armpit, hands towards sky. Exhale to release your upper back. And gently release. Coming to half splits. Straighten up the front knee, hands on either side of the front foot. Breathe into the back of the thighs here and make space there. Because you know what's coming. After this, we're going into full splits. So you've got to make space for your joints and muscles to move into the pose. Alright, moving into full splits or almost full splits or whatever variation of full splits you have on this side. So now is a very good time for you to grab, no matter how many blocks you have at home, or just use some very thick books to help you pad your sit bone. You can use up to 4 blocks, 5 blocks is fine. It is not a full split, but you are still practicing splits. So have the strap looping around the back foot before you come into your splits. Grab the strap and come into your back bend in splits. Huge inhale here to lift ribs up. Remember, you can always work with one hand. One hand can be down on the ground or anywhere. Lifting chest up, opening up the armpit, opening up the spine. Of course, more flexible people, you can just grab onto the foot without the strap. And gently release the strap. And step back to downward facing dog. Take a seat. Let's see how this works. Come into camel actually. Come onto your knees. Hands on your sacrum, palm on the sacrum, so that the hands looks like that when you grab hold on the back. Goes out to the side. From here, take a deep inhale, activate your inner thighs, your butt, the lower butt where the sit bone is. Inhale, lift chest up. Exhale, lean back. People who can go a little bit more, perhaps hands on heels. Maybe both. And very gently come back up. Sit down onto your heels for a couple of breaths and watch what's going on next. So you go into camel. Now we're coming into your bow pose with the strap. So yesterday, if you watched my video yesterday we worked with a roll underneath the belly. Today, we'll try working without the roll and see how it goes. Alright, everyone lay down onto your belly and let's do this together. I changed my mind. So you got your strap here. Loop the strap around your foot. Then you pull the strap in and come out onto your elbows. Now once you are ready, you can actually stay here, switch your arms later if you're a little bit more advanced in your practice. Grab the strap with both your hands. Then inhale, lift up. Remember, the direction of lifting is upwards and not back. And gently release, come on down. And that's it for today's class. How's everyone feeling? Take a seat. Let's do lunge. Step back into down dog. Now from down dog, step left foot forward into your hands, in between your hands, and lower your right knee down onto the ground. Move your right hand in front of your left foot, at least 1 foot distance away. Not exactly in front, but move it in the direction forward, 1 foot away from left foot. Hug your left thigh in towards you and roll your chest over towards the left, sending your right hip down towards the ground. So over here, you can feel for opening on the side of your body here and feel for what's going on at this side of your body. Reach actively with the back foot away from you while you send this shoulder up skywards. So you're pulling both sides of the body really long. And release. Step back to downward dog and step right foot forward in between your hands. Move left hand 1 foot distance away forward. Hug right thigh into chest. Then exhale to roll your chest over to the right, sending left hip down towards the ground. Now as you exhale, slide left shoulder up sky towards the armpit. And reach actively. Exhale, reach actively to the back foot. And gently release. Let's come onto your back for splits on your back. Actually come into forward fold on your back. Grab hold of your calf or your ankle. Maybe some of you grab hold of the back of the thighs. And more flexible people, you can grab hold of your foot. As you exhale, lift the foot closer towards the face. Release and come into spinal twist. Hug your knees in towards the chest. Exhale, knees down over to the left. Turn your head over to the right. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, knees down over to the right. Look over to the left. Release and coming into your Shavasana from here. Straighten up the legs to the front, arms by the side of your hip, palm facing up skywards. Relax your body down to the ground and let the ground carry you. Soften to your facial muscles, soften to your jaw. Very gently roll over towards the left. Use your hands to pick yourself back up. Sit up tall. Hands to your heart center. Continue your practice of labeling your emotion. Whatever emotions that is arising within you, take notice of it. And perhaps ask yourself, what can I do to change this energy that this emotion brings? I bow to the light in you. Namaste. Stay safe, all my friends out there.